Welcome back, everybody, to the Kansas Jayhawks Dynasty as we enter episode 20 of this series, facing off against the Oklahoma Sooners, who last year just barely beat us in a tightly contested matchup. And as you all can see, they have fallen from their mighty rankings this year as they find themselves 1-3 in conference play with a 2-4 overall record, with multiple losses to teams such as Tennessee, Texas Tech, and a few other notable schools. Now, obviously, this team still has a much more talented roster than we do, despite the losses, but I look to see if this Jayhawks team can get back on track after a poor performance against West Virginia last week, and see if we can stop the losing streak before it even begins. As we all know, this Sooners team and this reality is led by stud quarterback Spencer Rattler, who previously played amazing, throwing for over 36 touchdowns last year and around 2,000 yards, looking to continue his success today as they have struggled all year long. We go down to the field here in Oklahoma in our second straight road matchup, hoping to get off to a quick start as we defer the kick, and it's underway with Eric Gray back to return. He's going to take it from about the 5-yard line. Got a lot of blocking up the left side. Got some great space down the field, and he's going to be taken down around the 40-yard line by Golightly. And here comes Spencer Rattler to lead out the offense. Obviously, last week he had to have his best game of the season in preparation to play us. Rattler on 1st and 10, though, finds his man Marvin Mims, who gets taken down hard by the face mask. And just like that, the Sooners are getting 15 more tacked on to the end of that play. Not a great way to start the day if you're Rich Miller. Didn't really look like he meant to do that, but either way, it's a 15-yard penalty. Now, Marvin Mims has had a decent season. You see there, 30 catches, 514 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Now, 1st and goal, Rattler's going to give it to Kennedy Brooks, who gets taken down by Gavin Potter. What a great one-on-one tackle there, and that's a loss of 2. Now, 2nd and goal, just a few seconds later, Rattler all alone in the shotgun, takes it on the slant route, got his man Marvin Mims with the 9-yard touchdown strike, and the Sooners get on the board quickly as this Jayhawks defense finds it difficult to slow them down. And out comes Jason Bean to lead the offense, giving it to Gardner to start his day, as it always does, with poor offensive line play leading to a short gain. Now 3rd and 5, just a few plays later. Bean, play action pass, looking to Grimm, and he's got him on the middle crossing route. Gonna end up being about 14, and Luke Grimm really, you'll see in these highlights, Luke Grimm really showed out today to be part of this offense, as you see James Smith get the 5-yard reception. And what I mean by that here is we get to a 3rd and 7. Luke Grimm last year and this year has been a great part of this offense, as Jason Bean is going to get tripped up on the outside, losing 5 as the Sooners will get the ball back. But Luke Grimm's been a big part of the offense, obviously, already. But today he really showed out, and he really showed that he can be a number 1 receiver, as Spencer Rattler gets 21 yards on the read option play. In the very next play, 1st and 10, Rattler finds his man Mario Williams, but he gets hit for a gain of 0. Now that's going to bring up a 3rd and 7 here in Jayhawk territory. Rattler looking to the end zone, and he's got a man in coverage, Mario Williams, and an 18-yard strike. 14-0 Sooners, and Jason Bean trotting back onto the field. Now 1st and 10, rolling out, and he finds his man James Smith for about 12 on the slant play. The pass was slightly behind him, but all that matters is it still got there. 2nd and 1 now. Bean across the middle, and what a catch by Luke Grimm, spinning around 22 yards down the field, but we find ourselves in a 3rd and 19 despite the momentum on our side. Jason Bean gets sacked on the play. He's going to lose 9 as we close out this first quarter. 3rd and inches for the Sooners on the very next possession. After that punt, they give it to Rattler, who gets brought down by Kenny Logan Jr. in the backfield. And we get the ball back to start the second quarter. Now, Bean will remain in the shotgun. The run game was very ineffective all day long, as you see Jason Bean going deep to James Smith, and he's got him downfield. all the way down to the 5. That would officially be a 46-yard gain in a no-huddle offense as Bean gives it to Huggins in the flats, and he gets upended. He loses about 2 on the play, and the Jayhawks will go 3rd and goal now. Man comes in motion. It's a fullback screen, and Huggins gets taken down again. And just like that, we're going for it on 4th and goal from about the 8-yard line. Bean rolling out of the pocket, looking to the end zone, and he's got Trevor Wilson for a 9-yard touchdown strike to bring this game back within 1 score at 14-7. 5:32 remains in the second quarter. That drive was probably one of the best drives I've seen all year. We had a deep pass down the field, which is something we have struggled to establish in any games, as Rattler almost gets intercepted on the very next possession by Cornell Wheeler. He read it perfectly. Now 3rd and 10. A stop here would mean so much for the Jayhawks. Rattler looking deep. He's got a man deep. Breaking free into the open field is Marvin Mims. 56 yards. 3rd and 9 for the Jayhawks' next possession as the Sooners retain their 14-point lead. Still midway through the second quarter. Bean gets taken down. The offensive line has been a big problem all year long, and you'll see in these highlights of this game that it continued today as Rattler gets taken down by Taylor in the backfield, and the Sooners would get a field goal on their side as they try it from 50 yards out, and it's wide right. Great stand there by the Jayhawks defense as the offense continues to let them down and produce nothing on that side of the ball, drive after drive. Now here we are, 2nd and 10 with Jason Bean under center now, rolling out of the pocket, looking to throw it, and he gets sacked again. That one you can't really blame on the offensive line too much as Josh Ellison gets his 2nd of the day, and the Jayhawks once again have to punt with a decent punt there, pinning them back at about the 31-yard line by Reese Vernon. Rattler now out of the shotgun. Just over 2 minutes remain in the quarter. Rattler looking outside to Jackson, cuts it upfield and stays in bounds as Lewis has to bring Cody Jackson down after 47 yards. Now it's going to be 3rd and inches deep in Jayhawk territory. Rattler going to fake it and give it to Brooks. He's going to lose 3 on the play. Gavin Potter gets him right up the middle. And instead of scoring a touchdown, the Sooners have to settle for a field goal here late in the quarter as the Jayhawks have an opportunity with 1 minute and 1 second remaining. Bean now out of the shotgun, taking the snap, looking downfield, got a man one-on-one, and it's caught. He's tripped up after 43 yards, but Luke Grimm gets the play all the way down the field. 3rd and 1 now, looking just for the first down as Gardner breaking tackles and doing everything he can with that poor run blocking just to get over the first down line. Now 2nd and 10 a few plays later. Bean out of the shotgun, nowhere to go. He gets sacked, fumbles, and it's picked up by Will Huggins, officially going to go as a sack of 10 yards. And we did have to settle for another field goal here as Jacob Borsia nails this one from 47 yards out. And we go down 14 into halftime to open the third quarter after a beautiful field goal. And let's just all appreciate how much more reliable Jacob Borsia has been this year, especially with how terrible he was last year. He wasn't even an option last year as Bean goes deep to Grimm, who catches it over the defender. I did not see that one coming. Hurry up offense now. Jason Bean out of the shotgun still. 7:43 remaining. Bean rolling out of the pocket, going deep again, and he's got his man again. You guys see exactly what I mean. 25 yards for Luke Grimm's. 3rd and 15 though. Bean looking for Wilson, and he's going to get hit hard on the slant. Josh Ellison in the pressure of the quarterback right there, and Borsia curves it in on that field goal. Another beautiful kick. Look at this. It's wide left all the way, and it drifts back in at the last possible second as we bring the lead back to 11 with 6:34 and counting in the quarter. Now Rattler's going to take the snap. It's a read option. We struggle to defend these as Rattler breaks a tackle and gets all the way down the field right at about the 23-yard line. It's going to go as a 36-yard gain. Now 2nd and 11 for Rattler and company. Out of the shotgun, looking to go deep. Nowhere to go. Firing finally, and he's got Hazelwood into the end zone. Jaden Hazelwood with 24 yards on the play, and just like that, Rattler has tossed his 4th touchdown of the day as the Sooners extend their lead to 31-14 or 13 as Bean gets taken down. Just lucky enough to get rid of that ball, and once again the offense goes 3 and out, not helping the defense at all as you see Reese Vernon with another excellent punt, pinning them down at around the 30-yard line, which is something this defense desperately needs if they're going to continue to keep us in this game any way, shape, or form. Now 3rd and 2 with 4:40 remaining. Rattler looking downfield, nowhere to go, and the Sooners go 3 and out. An interesting turn of events there as the Jayhawks try to scrap their way back into this one. Jason Bean on 2nd and 11, rolling out, finding his man Trevor Wilson, who gets lit up at the end of that play. Now it's going to be 3rd and 3. 3.5 minutes and counting remaining. Bean takes the snap. They need a first down here, and they've got it with Stephen McBride as he cuts upfield for 5 yards. And an excellent dink and dunk pass there, just enough for what they needed. 1st and 10 now, and we've got Luke Grimm one-on-one on the outside again. With how he's been this game, I wouldn't be surprised if he goes that way, and he does, and it's intercepted. What a killer right there, as Davis has got a lot of room to return this one. Finally run out of bounds by the offensive lineman and the Sooners. 3rd and 10 after the interception. Rattler out of the shotgun, looking downfield. Nowhere to go, and it's almost intercepted by Deuce Mayberry. He had one last week, but that one would have been massive for this team as the Sooners settle for another field goal attempt. But this one will go right through the uprights, and the Jayhawks find themselves in a desperate situation, down 21 now, as they get a 7-yard run out of Velt and Gardner. Unfortunately, that was probably his most productive run of the night as 2nd and 5. Jason Bean looking downfield, and he's got Wilson. Going to end up being about a 3rd and inches there as they can't give him the yardage. Jason Bean now on the read option, keeps it himself and just barely gets enough as he runs for about 6 yards to get that first down. 2nd and 2 now, the last seconds of the 3rd. Bean downfield to Cardell, who gets hit hard after a 20-yard catch up the seam, and 1st and goal to start the 4th quarter. All kinds of audibles. Bean takes it out of the snap, running outside, got a man open, but he's going to take it himself. 3-yard touchdown run for Jason Bean as he has scored through the air and on the ground both ways today as the Jayhawks continue to fight their way in this game. Down 14 now with 7:48 remaining in the quarter. Rattler all kinds of time though as he finds Hazelwood. Finally broke free, and you just can't expect your defense to cover for that long if you get no pressure. That's going to bring up a 3rd and 3 for this offense. Rattler on the read option, swallowed up by the linebacker and cornerback Dotson as the Sooners once again settle for a field goal on 4th and 7. And he's going to hit this one right through the uprights again to give them a 37-20 lead, which looks like it might be insurmountable if we can't do anything on this drive. 3rd and 3 though. Jason Bean rolling out of the pocket, looking to throw, and he's got his man at the last second. Trevor Wilson will be credited for about 8 yards there. 2nd and 3 a few plays later. 5:14 and counting. Jason Bean rolling all around, looking for anything. Got a man downfield, and he drops it. Golightly had the opportunity for the biggest play of his season so far, and he dropped that one. 3rd and 3 now. Jason Bean gets sacked for 11 yards, and if you're a quarterback, that's the last thing you can do in that situation. Now 4th and 14, all or nothing here. Bean gonna launch it outside to Cardell, and he's actually got the first down. They needed 14, and they get 15 on the play. That keeps this drive alive. Now 3rd and 8, Jason Bean out of the shotgun, finding his man downfield again. Luke Grimm for 17, 2nd and 10 now. Bean's going to take the snap, getting hit again from behind. Josh Ellison with his 4th sack of the day, his 5th tackle for loss. That's going to bring up a 3rd and 18. Jason Bean out of the shotgun, needs something to go right here as he goes deep and he's got his man. Some more magic on this drive as James Smith gets us all the way down to about the 7-yard line. Jason Bean now on 2nd and goal, calling audibles, looking downfield, gets hit hard again. That's another loss of 11 yards, and that sack would actually take Jason Bean out of the game as Ben Easter's 4th and goal. This is it, folks. If we don't score here, it's over. Easters launches to the end zone, and it's intercepted by Harrington. The safety snatches that one out of the air, and our defense, with 3 timeouts left, only has an opportunity for pride here as Kennedy Brooks runs right up the middle. And this game will end with a 37-20 deficit. As you see here, they just needed to run the ball to run the clock out as we fail to come back in this one as we trailed the whole way down. Spencer Rattler finishes with 4 touchdown passes and an amazing passing display for this Oklahoma team. And the Jayhawks find themselves with their 2nd straight loss. Something that is not good for a head coach early in his career in the 2nd season and 20th episode of this series. Can the team get back on track? We'll have to see, but let's check out the recruiting so far and rankings around the league. And overall, that game was not nearly as disappointing as it could have been. I think we played solid as a total team. Jason Bean had an okay game, 26 of 42, 360 yards, a touchdown, and interception. Not his best game, obviously, but he's had much worse outings considering how he played last week against West Virginia. And Ben Easters, he's just not ready to get playing time in a game like this. Jason Bean finished with negative 41 rushing yards for getting sacked as many times as he did. We'll actually see how many times did he get sacked. He got sacked 9 times. Velton Gardner, 11 for 31. Just another terrible game from him this year, and he's been very disappointing. I expected him to be a much bigger part of this offense, but Luke Grimm, 7 for 164, followed up by Trevor Wilson, 5 for 37 and 1 touchdown, and James Smith, 4 for 93. I was actually kind of happy with how James Smith ended up playing because the last few weeks since week 1 or week 2, he hasn't really been involved in the offense, and he's got the best speed and height advantage for any of our receivers, so I think we've got to find a way to get him more involved. Defensively, obviously, we were less than desirable. Kenny Logan Jr. had 6 tackles, 2 for loss. Just an okay game by all around. Obviously, if we had played better, we would have come out with the win. So you can't really say it was a good game by any means, but overall, an okay game. Jacob Borsia, 2 of 2 with a 47 long field goal. I mean, can't really ask more from him. And then if you go over to Oklahoma statistics, Rattler, 19 of 28, 283 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. They didn't even have to run the ball that well, 14 for 47. Their passing game was too strong for our defense to handle, and I just think they out-talented us on every side of the ball. Unfortunately, that is our 2nd loss in a row, but we do have some positive news as far as recruiting goes. We did finally get our first couple commits of the season. Unfortunately, they are both at the same position, but we're able to pick up 2 3-star tight ends in Ryan Hart and Kevin Johnson. They both have pretty decent statistics. They're both fairly fast. Ryan Hart's got an 81 speed, 90 acceleration, and they can both catch at a decent rate. Kevin Johnson's a much better blocker than Ryan Hart would be. So we were able to pick up 2 guys that look like they can be pretty good for this team. We did add Bryson Gay on here, but I don't think we'll really be going after him just because we're so far back. Overall, we've got this guy. We're not even on his board yet, but we're going after him. Lauren Bullock, we've got him as the number 1 spot on his board right now. And then the rest of it's not really too interesting. You've got a couple of Dane Lewis. I'm excited if we can bring him in. Defensive tackle, you've got Joe Colvin and Maurice Johnson would be nice to pick up. He's a 68 overall. Outside linebacker, we did get Ross Rushing. I think he was the 3rd commit on the season coming out of Oklahoma. Outside linebacker was a position of need, and as you can see, we definitely need that on the defensive side of the ball. And his coverage is not as bad as I would think an outside linebacker would be, so he's going to come in and probably contribute instantly. Then we've also got guys like Calvin Lane and Lee Pope on the board up there as well. Middle linebacker, you've got Ryan Harris, Chris Mosley, and Cedric Baldwin. We did have a 78 overall on here, but he actually ended up locking us out. And to round out our board, we've got 3 pretty good athletes. We've got Dustin Newberry, Mike Johnson, and Sean Johnson. Now, these guys, a lot of them we've fallen down with, but I am looking forward to getting to that visit, because I think if we're able to get to the visit, and as you can see, we get some of those goals, we're going to be able to get these guys right back into their top 3. So that'd be something that would be extremely helpful going into next season, as we do need all the help we can get. And if we want to look at real quick where we sit in the standings right now with that loss to Oklahoma, I believe it's not the greatest situation at the moment. We have no chance at the conference championship, if you guys didn't know, but we are sitting in the last spot of our division. Oklahoma's right above us, along with everyone else in this side of the conference. Texas is having itself a great season. Texas Tech, they were top 10, I believe. They must have just lost to, let's see who they lost to. Yeah, they lost to Iowa State. So Iowa State's TCU's 6-0, Iowa State's 5-1, and it looks like they're going to be the 2 teams contending for a spot in the national championship in this conference. At least they're going to have to play each other eventually, so we'll see how that goes. But we are facing off against SMU next week. They're 1-5, 1-3 in conference, so this is just a great matchup for us to try and get our win streak back online. I mean, 3 losses in a row, you go down to 3-4, 1-3 in conference. We're looking at maybe not even making a bowl game again this year if we lose this game. I just don't know if we can come back from that momentum and get 3 more wins to make a bowl game. But we are favored in a few of the matchup here against SMU. We've got a better overall offense and defense, but their rushing offense is much better than ours. They've got some real good guys. They've got Tanner Mordecai up there at quarterback. He's had a struggle this year, but he's 11 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, which isn't terrible. It's just one of those games you don't want to overlook. As you can see, we lost the first game of the season, 3 wins in a row, dominated Houston, and since that week we just haven't been able to get back on track. And I just hope next week going up against SMU we're able to get back on track and get in that win column, because after that we've got a bunch of tough games. So comment down below if you guys think we'll be able to win next week against SMU. Let me know what you guys predict the score to be. I'd love to always get you guys thoughts and see what you all think's going to happen in the next episode. Thank you so much for watching this. Hit the like button. Make sure to subscribe so I know you guys are enjoying this, and it helps me out so much too when you guys hit that subscribe button. Catch you guys next episode when we face off against SMU.